WNBA fans are bracing for impact because it looks like Caitlin Clark might have gotten injured again, and she has missed nearly half the games this season with a quad injury and then with a groin injury. Here's the play where it happened. She's dribbling down, she pushes off, she makes this pass to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then you can see when she's running back to the other end of the court, she's grabbing her right groin. You could see it on her face right after that play, like something went wrong.
Caitlin Clark aggravates her leg injury after this play. Earlier in the quarter, Stephanie White had to burn a timeout because the referees were letting defenders hand check and hold Caitlin without consequence. Is this what's going to happen for anything to change? The Indiana Fever wrapped up their road trip with an 85-77 win over the Connecticut Sun at TD Garden. But the celebration didn't last long. With only 40 seconds left on the clock, Caitlin Clark re-aggravated her groin injury after enduring non-stop contact and punishing hits all game long. The real kicker? The refs let it happen. Again. No whistles, no protection, and now the WNBA's biggest star might be sidelined because officials treated a wrestling match like it was just tough defense.
Stephanie White, congratulations. Amber Cox, way to go. Kelly Krauskopf, you did it, girl. You really did it. Way to rush Caitlin Clark back from injury time after time after time after time. To the point where she's tearing and crying on the court because she felt something in her groin. You three ladies couldn't manage a kid's lemonade stand.
This wasn't just a routine injury, it was the boiling point of a league that continues to neglect the safety of its biggest star. Caitlin Clark, already sidelined for 9 games this season with various injuries, clutched her right groin and limped off the court in visible agony after dishing a simple assist to Kelsey Mitchell. What should have been a standard play turned into a gut-wrenching moment. There she was, on the bench, head buried under a towel, tears cutting down her face, as the league's golden ticket sat broken and unprotected. If that image doesn't shake the WNBA to its core, then what will?
This is potentially a disaster for the city of Indianapolis, the Indiana Fever. They're hosting the All-Star game. We just found out Caitlin Clark was going to be in the three-point contest, and this is her right here. You can see her. Let me turn this down. She's grabbing that groin, folks. She's grabbing the groin area. She's going to walk over. She knows she's injured, and it looked bad, folks. She was on the bench, had her head wrapped in a towel. She's crying. She's in pain.
The tipping point came when Fever head coach Stephanie White called a timeout, not to draw up a play, but to confront the unchecked physicality targeting Caitlin Clark. It wasn't strategy, it was survival. Connecticut defenders had turned the game into a brawl, bodying Clark on every possession, while officials stood by in silence. White's timeout was a last-ditch cry for order, demanding the ref step in before the league's brightest star got completely dismantled in what resembled street ball more than professional basketball.
And whether it was pain or frustration or a combination of both, you could see it weighing on her. Now, she had snapped at a referee earlier. She had held her head down in the midst of her shooting slump. So maybe some of this is just all of that coming to a head, especially knowing that All-Star Weekend is coming up from Indianapolis.
I think it was obvious the tension was building, right? White said after earlier games with similar chaos. When officials don't take control and allow that level of physicality, especially when it's been a pattern all season, you've got elite athletes who are going to respond. These are highly competitive women, and when that kind of aggression is left unchecked, they're going to fight hard, stand their ground, and protect each other. That's what competitors do when structure breaks down.
From 3, so on the road this season, Caitlin Clark is a combined 1 for 32 from three-point range. Very unusual. She's hot. Breon January having to hold her back. We'll take a timeout.
I mean, yo, she went from 0 to 100 real quick. She was upset, dog. I don't know what that ref said. I don't know what happened. But, yeah, she was basically just saying that has nothing to do with it. So I don't know what they were discussing. But, yeah, she was basically pissed about the entire situation, man.
But this time, White's timeout came too late. The damage had already been done. Throughout the game, officials let Connecticut defenders get away with hand-checking, grabbing, and physically manhandling Clark with zero accountability. Every screen became a health hazard, every trip to the rim turned into a full-body collision that, in any other era, would have drawn flagrant whistles. The tone was set early, and the message was clear. Caitlin Clark was on her own out there, no matter the cost.
Is the refs, dog. Like, the refs are terrible. Y'all play a part in these injuries. Y'all play a part in all of these injuries. Y'all don't call nothing. Y'all don't call nothing, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, all of y'all should be fired. Just don't do your jobs at all. You guys are trash. Trash, man. You got people getting hurt left and right. Look at this trash. We got people getting elbowed in the face. Body check. Look at this. Sophie Cunningham dropped. She just gets body checked out of bounds. No calls. None.
If you are enjoying, please leave a like and subscribe our channel. What we witnessed against Connecticut wasn't basketball. It was a systematic campaign to break down the most talented player the WNBA has ever seen. Clark entered the game shooting just 28.9% from three-point range this season, a staggering decline from her typical excellence. Her field goal percentage has dropped to 37.4%, ranking her 31st among the 35 players taking at least 10 shots per game.
Somebody who's never gotten injured ever in their career. Here comes all these, we got a new coaching staff, we got a new training staff, we got this person and that person, an expert here and an expert there, saying this, saying that. Next thing you know, these people have managed to turn Caitlin Clark into a player who now gets injured. What the hell did you guys do with Caitlin Clark?
This isn't coincidence. This is the direct result of a player who can't find her rhythm because she's spending more time recovering from injuries than actually playing basketball. Clark has been available for only 59.1% of the Fever's games this season, missing 9 regular season contests due to a left quad strain, a left groin injury, and now this latest right groin setback. The numbers tell the story of a player under siege. In her last 4 games since returning from injury, Clark has shot 33.3% or lower from the field. She's not hitting the threes that made her a household name because she's playing through pain, playing with limited mobility, and playing against defenders who know the referees won't protect her.
That are turning into another injury, and it's an overcompensation injury, and she's trying to play through it because she's got the weight of WNBA on her shoulders. All of this stuff. I think all of these things are factors. I think all of this is a factor for what's happening. I think all of this is a factor of why she's playing. I think she's trying to carry this league on her shoulders. And the refs are letting them beat the crap out of her. That doesn't help things. It doesn't help things when the referees are absolutely letting teams beat the crap out of her. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Other teams are allowing other teams are beating the crap out of her and the referees are allowing it.
ESPN's broadcast team finally said what everyone has been thinking for months. During a recent game, commentators Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco were forced to count the fouls that referees were ignoring in real time. There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls, every single one of them, Lobo stated while watching Clark get mauled on a single possession. The hypocrisy is staggering. Clark gets called for technical fouls when she shows the slightest emotion after being fouled, but opponents can literally punch her in the face and walk away without consequence. Marina Mabre once shoved Clark to the ground during a game, and the referees called it a common technical foul rather than an ejection. Meanwhile, Clark's brother Colin summed up the frustration perfectly after the latest injury. Make no mistake, this is on the reffing. The family has watched their daughter and sister get targeted game after game, while officials turn a blind eye to the kind of physical abuse that would end careers in any other sport.
Caitlin Clark's brother, Colin. Colin just said this. Make no mistake, this is on the refereeing. This is Colin Clark, Caitlin Clark's brother. This is Caitlin Clark's brother right here, Colin Clark.
The league's failure to protect Clark isn't just morally wrong, it's financially catastrophic. When Clark misses games, WNBA viewership drops by 55%, with average audiences falling from 1.81 million to just 847,000 viewers. Her return game against the Liberty earlier this season drew 2.2 million viewers, making it the third most watched WNBA game ever on AB. But now, with Clark potentially missing the All-Star game in Indianapolis, the event she was supposed to headline as team captain, the league faces a public relations nightmare. The 2025 All-Star Game was specifically designed around Clark's star power, with a three-point contest and skills challenge scheduled for July 18-19 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If Clark can't participate, the WNBA will lose millions in revenue and credibility. Tickets for All-Star Weekend sold out within 7 hours, specifically because fans wanted to see Clark perform in her home city. Without her, the event becomes just another exhibition game that nobody outside of hardcore fans will watch.
Now, our biggest concern is obviously her health. And I got to tell you, I can't see her playing tomorrow. I cannot imagine her doing the three-point contest or being in the All-Star game now. All right, which is brutal. I was so fired up to see it. But she needs to sit, folks. She needs to sit. This is the power of Caitlin Clark right here. This is the crowd prior to the game. These are all Fever fans going into a road arena in Boston. Look at that.
This isn't the first time Clark has been injured due to referee negligence, and it won't be the last unless the league takes decisive action. Earlier this season, she missed 5 games with a left quad strain after being subjected to similar physical abuse from the New York Liberty. She then missed another 5 games with a left groin injury after defenders were allowed to hack and grab her without penalty. The pattern is clear. Clark gets targeted, the refs ignore obvious fouls. She plays through pain until her body breaks down, then she misses multiple games while the league loses viewers and credibility. It's a cycle that's destroying both Clark's career and the WNBA's growth potential. Paige Buchers, who will face Clark in the upcoming All-Star Game, has called the expectations placed on Clark inhumane and criticized the physical treatment she receives. The pressure that she's put on every single night to perform at the level that she does, it's inhumane, really, Buchers said. Like to expect people to be perfect and to not have off games or off nights.
What's up with ESPN? Like, do they have trolls for their producers? Like, they always kept throwing shade at Caitlin Clark, throwing up, how many, like, yo, this girl's coming off an injury. She's coming off an injury. Like, there's no point of keep showing the graphic, the last time she made a 3. It was so unnecessary. To me, it's kind of like bullying at this point. They're a joke, bro, because they don't do that with Angel Reese when her shots are not falling. Like, she's below 40%. Do they ever show that? No, they don't do that. They don't do that with any other player, but they do it with Caitlin Clark. I hate that, man. Pam Ward, she's an old hag.
The WNBA's failure to protect Clark is having cascading effects throughout the league. Her shooting percentages have plummeted as she's forced to play through injuries and constant physical harassment. Her three-point shooting has dropped to 28.9% this season, well below her career standards. But the real cost isn't statistical. It's the message being sent to young players, fans, and potential investors. When a league allows its biggest star to be injured through negligent officiating, it demonstrates a fundamental lack of professionalism and player safety standards that will drive away talent and viewership for years to come. Clark's injury against Connecticut was the culmination of months of referee incompetence. She had already suffered through games where she was fouled on nearly every possession without getting calls. The broadcast teams have started openly criticizing the officiating, with multiple commentators calling out missed fouls in real time.
The things that we were looking forward to this weekend in the W has just gotten jeopardized because of this Caitlin Clark groin injury. And I can honestly say this. I don't believe that the Indiana Fever are doing a hell of a job at protecting their greatest asset, because if it were me doing this and I was in charge of this team, I would take the Jerry Krause approach that he took with Michael Jordan after he broke his leg. Now, granted, Caitlin Clark's injuries have not been as severe as Michael Jordan's were back in the 80s, but hear me out on this. The minute that Michael Jordan got hurt, Jerry Krause held his ass out as long as he could. It wasn't because of any draft pick, it's because you're trying to protect your greatest asset, because you know without that great asset, you're going to lose your job and the team doesn't have a chance to win.
The timing of Clark's latest injury couldn't be worse. The All-Star Game in Indianapolis was supposed to be her coronation, a celebration of her impact on the sport in front of her home crowd. She was named team captain after receiving the most fan votes in WNBA history, 1,293,526 votes, and was scheduled to make her debut in the three-point contest. Now, with her availability uncertain, the league faces the prospect of hosting an All-Star Game without its biggest star. The economic impact would be devastating. The event was specifically marketed around Clark's participation, with merchandise, ticket sales, and television programming all built around her presence. If Clark misses the All-Star Game, it will be the third different injury to cost her games this season, bringing her total missed games to 10 out of 22 available. For a player who had never missed a game in her collegiate or professional career before this season, the pattern of injuries is deeply concerning and directly tied to the physical abuse she's enduring.
You get injured, you know in your mind how bad it is. You know, because throughout the game, she probably felt a little tingle throughout the game, and she was trying to manage it. She was trying, to avoid it. And then it happened. And then the little tweak happened. It's like, fuck, I did it. Like, I couldn't avoid it. Reminds me of the Halliburton injury. See that shit just make you want to fucking just break down. So how about we do this? How about we do not participate in putting pressure on this kid to come back? I mean, is that so much to ask?
The WNBA is at a crossroads. They can continue to allow referees to ignore obvious fouls against their biggest star, watching viewership decline and risking permanent injury to the player who single-handedly elevated the league's profile. Or they can take decisive action to protect Clark and ensure fair officiating for all players. The choice should be obvious, but the league's track record suggests they'll continue to prioritize maintaining the status quo over protecting their most valuable asset. Clark's latest injury is a direct result of referee negligence, and until the league addresses this systematic problem, we'll continue to see their biggest star get pushed around with no consequences.
I ain't one to, say a lot of stuff about overseas and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. It's looking like Caitlin Clark might have to go overseas, bro, at this point. Because this damn league is looking spooky. It's looking real spooky.
The WNBA built its recent success on Clark's star power, but they're systematically destroying the foundation of that success through poor officiating and inadequate player protection. When Clark finally decides she's had enough of being treated like a punching bag, the league will have no one to blame but themselves for the collapse that follows. The refs let Connecticut Sun players abuse Clark for 40 minutes, and now she's injured again. The pattern is clear, the consequences are devastating, and the time for action is now. The question is whether the WNBA will finally step up to protect their biggest star, or continue to watch her get pushed around until there's nothing left to protect. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.